There you go. It's live. Who even knows if it's working? The magic of the internet.
I know if it's working
Okay. Well, how do you know if it's working?
because I'm on the little YouTube screen and
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there.
Who's right there? Me? You?
Me and you.
Everyone? Wow.
Me
Fancy.
and you and a dog named
Scooby Doo.
Beckham.
It's not Scooby Doo, for the record.
No. No. Actually,
That's a shame.
have you ever met a dog named Scooby Doo?
No. You ever drink Bailey's out of a shoe?
No. I was just
Makes
gonna
two
say
of us then.
I'm I'm surprised there aren't more dogs named Scooby Doo.
I bet there must
Considering
be.
consider I've never met one, or not even like Scooby. I think I've heard of a dog named Shaggy before,
Right.
but
Now,
nothing
was the
like
person
Scooby Doo.
named Scooby Doo? That
Oh,
would be wild.
that would be insane, but it's not to be.
So be it. Well,
Whoa. Shall we get
gosh.
started on the episode, I guess?
I suppose we probably ought to. Would you like to silence your phone there so that
Yes,
it's
I think
not
so.
constantly ringing, demanding your attention?
Yeah.
Now,
What is the
if
thing
you'll
they
excuse me for
say?
a second, hold on. I have to take a call. Do.
Please silence all devices.
Yeah, please silence all devices. Please keep your hands, feet, and arms and legs inside the stream room at all times.
Oh yeah, I guess we should for our non-viewers, which are probably everybody watching the stream.
Right.
We are doing something new. We are going to be live streaming our episodes on YouTube every Monday. And that way, we can have our episodes up immediately on Mondays. And
Whoa.
then, yep. And then we will
Instant
release,
gratification in this economy, Gavin?
and then we will release the episodes on all the podcast feeds whenever we get around to editing it throughout the season.
It's a very blase way of saying whenever we feel like it.
Whenever we feel like it. That was the
Yeah,
word that
whenever
was
we
going to come
feel
out of
like
my
it.
mouth. But no,
No, I've
I'm
known you
better than
long
that.
enough
Yeah.
to know when you mean to say whenever we feel like it.
Whenever we get around to it. Whenever we get around to it.
We
So
is also a strong term. Whenever I get around to it,
okay, but you have a monopoly on the
I do.
streaming or on the editing empire because
Hmm.
you won't let me edit.
I, Gavin,
Russell,
I've
you'll
literally given you the free reign to use the same software that I use. I told you I have an extra code that you can redeem for enterprise grade studio.
you haven't taught me how to use it yet.
Well, you haven't made yourself available to learn how to use it yet. If anything, Gavin, this shows a lack of conviction on your part to edit. This is why I have a monopoly. There's no competition.
Yeah, I can't argue
The
with that. I
barriers to
no
entry,
arguments.
yeah, the barriers to entry are very low
Yes.
in that
No,
I'm giving you
extremely high.
software for free on your schedule.
So yeah,
Well,
I
anyways,
just need to
hey,
look into it. But every Monday, 9 p.m., which is when we always
ish,
record, 9 p.m.
9
ish,
p.m. ish.
we will be streaming. It might some days be 9:30 if my
Some
dinner
days might be
takes longer.
9:15.
9:15.
Just plan on Gavin always being later than 9 o'clock, unless we plan for like 8:30 start time, in which case Gavin will usually be on time.
And it's always post 9. Very rarely will we stream at like 8:55. Don't plan on us being early.
Yeah,
I know
that would be
myself.
ridiculous.
I know
Yeah,
myself good enough. And it's not because I don't love
well
recording.
enough.
It's just because Russell.
Gavin,
I didn't ask for you to be the grammar police.
you don't have to ask. Gavin's a service I provide.
Okay. Yeah, so come join our live streams every Monday and interact with us and we will interact back. I think that's another
Maybe,
positive of doing this is being able to like chat with our listeners and answer questions live. So
maybe. I don't
give
know.
us a go. 9 p.m. on Mondays, Eastern. We live on the East Coast. We don't live in Vancouver like Russell would like to, or Olympia, Washington, like I would like to.
how would you feel, Gavin, if when we posted this episode that I just edited everything out because I haven't done an intro yet?
I'd be insanely upset.
I'm gonna do that. So
But we
book it.
just, but we just. Well, then it's going on TikTok. I'm the
All
TikTok
right. Yeah.
content creator,
You are the TikTok content creator. That's true. And hey,
which
you
I
know what
never
else,
thought I'd
Gavin?
ever say in my life.
You know
Just
what
so
else
you
is
know.
true?
What?
What's true is we're live. The MLS Now podcast. I'm your host, Russell. You can find me on social media at Mr. Danger Russ, and you can find the podcast on social media at MLS Now Podcast. Joining me today for this special live recording is Gavin holding up a beer. I don't know anyone who could possibly drink a beer while recording. That would be absurd. Gavin, hello. Welcome to the special live recording of the MLS Now podcast. Oh, by the way, you can find Gavin on social media at Lions Blog One. Remember, if you have any negative criticisms about the show, please be sure to tag us there at Lions Blog One. Any positive feedback, please send to Mr. Danger Russ. Gavin, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Good evening to you. As I see you swigging down, swagging down another. Is that a coffee beer again?
It's that coffee ale, Gavin. You know it.
Listeners, viewers, I don't know what to call you anymore. Um,
Could be both in this
Russell,
case.
have we talked about your coffee addiction
Many
on the
times, but we
podcast?
can continue to talk about it, Gavin. It's an evergreen topic.
10 plus cups of coffee a day is
It's a lot of
absolutely insane
coffee.
behavior.
Well,
It's absurd,
coffee's
Russell.
delicious.
No, that's
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you,
coffee's
Gavin.
good, but that's absurd. I just want you to know that. So, okay, what's on the agenda today?
Holy smokes, Gavin! We have so much to talk about, and in fact, Gavin, we have so much to talk about that I've distilled it down into three unique points here. So, first of all, I would like to talk about the referee slash PSRA work stoppage that is impending coming up. I then want to talk a little bit about preseason in general with some free agency discussion, a little bit of chat about Colorado, and then just a few specific free agents and what's going on there. And then finally, of course, we have the hot topic, what's going on with Sporting Kansas City, the whole Gavin Wilkinson drama, a little bit of discussion there, and then a little surprise segment there to wrap it up tonight. So, Gavin, we'll dive in. Biggest topic coming out today, actually, I suppose. PSRA has voted unanimously, was a report, that they will commence a work stoppage if a new bargaining agreement is not reached slash approved by the, I want to say, 31st of January, which is 9 days from today, this podcast date and date of the news coming out. I would say it's pretty likely that no contract is going to be negotiated, voted on, and approved in the next 9 days. That would seem highly optimistic. So, Gavin, just high level take, thumbs up, thumbs down. Uh, Thumbs up being you have complete confidence that this will be resolved before the season, and thumbs down being that you are prepared for the absolute catastrophe, mess, drama that this is going to turn into as the season very quickly approaches.
Well, based on those two definitions, I am this
Your
because
thumbs up and thumbs
I
down.
think it will get resolved. I am thumbs up because based on your definition, I think it will get resolved. But I am thumbs down that I am prepared and ready for the disaster that is to come if it doesn't get resolved. So I I don't I don't foresee this becoming an issue. I foresee it getting resolved. I don't I don't know. That's my gut feeling is that this is pretty standard with um negotiations back and forth. And when you are as powerful as the referees are in the sport of soccer, you you are bound to get your way, I think. Because eventually I feel like the league will know that getting a lower level of referees will not be good, especially considering the quality of player they have in the league right now. And Lionel Messi, they want to make sure that they have the highest quality possible refereeing.
I think one thing that stands out to me on this, Gavin, and I think you are correct, if they go for backup referees or alternative officials, you will see a dip in quality from where the current pro referees are. However, the organization, I think, has a pretty poor reputation amongst fans and players already. How many people will look at that and say it's going to be such a dip that it's going to make the game unwatchable? There's already people who believe that the game's unwatchable or that it's being unduly swayed or affected by poor officiating, that there is no level of accountability, and that they think that referees are ruining the game through misapplication of the laws or poor application of VAR. Now, whether or not each individual listening to this thinks that that is true, that's up to you to decide. But I would say that those opinions to varying degrees exist and resonate with different people across the league. So I have a hard time thinking that many people will be sympathetic to the referee association in this specific scenario. Not to say that we shouldn't be. I mean, look, it is factual in nature that the referees do not really get compensated all that well, especially considering how much money is in this league. And I think that is especially true of referees outside of your head officials. I mean, there's line, the line officials and the fourth official and your VAR people, and they might get like what, $10,000 across the span of a season, and they have to participate in 10 matches to even qualify for that minimum amount. So there's certainly some improvement that could happen there in terms of working conditions, in terms of compensation. But again, I don't know. I think you can support the people wanting to be compensated fairly, but you can also think that the current implementation of refereeing and the lack of accountability is also something that needs to be worked out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with all of that. But I think back to when the NFL had replacement referees and when the NBA had replacement referees. And I think I maybe those memories just are burned into my brain. But like there were some awful officiated games when that happened. And that it's still remembered by a lot of people. And that is why you know referees at this level are so needed. um it, when you lose all the best referees, like you can clearly tell when all of a sudden you have a lower level of referee. And so it is going to be a concern that the refereeing is where right now we're looking at a season that's going to potentially start with a very poor level of refereeing, and that could really impact results of games. I mean, referees have very strong power and outcome on games. You would hope that VAR would be used to stop some of the bad calls, but VAR can't fix everything, as we've seen over the past few seasons. And so, yeah, it's a balance that needs to be struck in these negotiations. The referees deserve to be paid, no matter how much we get frustrated with them, even and no matter their past transgressions, especially recently with the whole Matt Miazga situation. So I just hope that they come to a resolution, because I don't want our league to look like a, excuse my language, like a shit show. We get messy and all of a sudden we can't keep our refs paid. Like it's bad optics. And if we're trying to grow as a league, it just it's not good. It's not good. So I hope they can figure it out.
I think there is, as a counterpoint, and I'll make my own counterpoint within my own counterpoint just now as I'm thinking about it,
Counterpointception?
right? Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate to both you and I at the same time here. With respect to, say, NBA and NFL, I think it's worth noting there are many other leagues globally that require officials, and I would argue there are many better leagues with many better officials in them. Then, of course, the counterpoint to my own counterpoint is I think you still have to be certified to be an official in, say, MLS. You have to go through some recognition process to say the training and, standards of the game and your knowledge are adequate for what we believe needs to be the level for this competition. So I don't think it's necessarily as easy as going and finding a random person from another league to officiate, but I would not be surprised if, given the gravity of the situation and the need for referees, if maybe an alternative certification process or some flex in those rules is introduced to try and make additional people qualified to officiate here. Certainly, just something to keep in the back of your mind. I mean, I don't think there's any winner from a work stoppage long term, but, you know,
No, because
short
the refs
term.
aren't going to get paid. And so I guess it is going to come down to who's going to budge first. Are the refs going to budge first and accept a lower rate so they can go back to being paid and doing their job and so they can put food on the table for their families? Or is the league gonna budge first, and are they going to not really like the standard of refereeing, and it's going to be a long-term running headline that the refs are terrible this season? I mean, I guess that is pending
That's a
whether
headline always anyways,
that's,
though.
yeah, but like
We always complain about the referees. It doesn't matter. They could be
fair.
replacement referees, they could be the official referees that are normally there. You could be the awarded best referee of the year in MLS, and
And
I
people
think
hate
what
you.
it yeah, and that was Ismail Elfath, like, 2 seasons ago, and
Hmm.
then this past season, he rolls in, and, like, half the time people are like, "Oh, this guy."
This guy shucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always Elfath always, refs against us. He's not impartial.
Yeah, every referee has their quirks. I think Elfath does a terrible job of time management, but who am I? So look, yeah, it's a chicken and egg scenario. And let's see who'll budge first. I think it'll get done before the season starts because I think the refs will want a job, will want their money, and MLS will want that quality of refereeing at a minimum.
Potentially. I think as well, the other question in my mind on this is, let's say you're a fourth official or a line judge who is only making like 15,000 a year as a referee. You're probably not doing that as your primary source of income. So even if they find something that is acceptable to, say, head officials, right? They need to satisfy a lot of people within that realm of refereeing. And if you don't have that full staff, if you don't have enough people who can be a VAR operator, an assistant VAR operator, the official on either side of the sidelines, the fourth official, you are going to be in a world of trouble because you can't just have one head official and call it good. So they're going to have to make a lot of people happy with this. And if they have a job outside of it, why would they have to budge? If you're already doing this
It's a
as a
good point.
side gig, then you just say, "No." If
Yeah,
I sit here and go do my normal day job, maybe, just maybe, they're gonna raise the wages to a point that I can justify doing that as my full-time job once it's worked out.
yeah, that's a really good point. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens.
We will see where it goes. Yeah. Or where it doesn't go for that matter, who knows? So, all right. Well, Gavin, that is, whew, man, wipe your brow, take a break after that one. That's topic number one out of the way here. I do want to have a little bit of preseason chat covering, some events, a little bit of discussion about Colorado, some free agency items here. Of note, big headline recently, Facundo Farias injured, tore his ACL, done for 2024 in a preseason match that was not even an official, I think, preseason like tune-up. It was a friendly versus who was it? El Salvador?
El Salvador. Yep.
Yeah.
It was their
So
first one. Yep.
they're very yeah, and it was their first preseason friendly, and he's done for 2024.
Yeah, so I mean, wow, what a terrible way to start a sentence. Yeah, so I mean, no, I have thoughts on this. Farias was the one player who Inter Miami could not lose to injury this season. Like, if we're being so serious, he was the one player because injuries was always going to be a talking point with Miami. It was always going to be expected that they were going to have injuries, but everyone thought it was going to be Messi, Suarez, Busquets, Alba. Um, who's number five? They have a fifth one, right?
Or soon to be a fifth one.
Oh my gosh, I thought they only have four.
Uh,
Suarez,
four?
Messi, Busquets, Jordi Alba. Okay, I thought they had a fifth Barcelona guy.
Right.
No,
They
so
might. Who
they might,
knows?
maybe, maybe I don't know. Do I know something behind
Give
the
it a
scenes?
week.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, now that Facundo Farias is injured,
Yeah, they're
they'll
gonna sign
they'll get a
Pique.
fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was the one because he's the young kid who can come in and have legs and be a rotation option and start a lot of games and steal some minutes and whatnot. And now they don't have that, and so losing Farias is huge, 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 huge to them having a successful season because who's gonna be that rotation guy who's at a high quality. They just lost a really high quality starter level rotation option. So
Yeah.
big loss, big loss for Miami in my opinion.
The bench is going to get a little bit shorter with that loss. I think it's interesting though because when we talk about these injury items, look, obviously an ACL is never something that you can like plan for. It's not something where you can load manage and say, "Oh, we don't want to have this guy play 3,000 minutes. We only think that across the season he can play 2,200 minutes because maybe his body is in such a condition that we think he needs the extra time and the rest, and we're going to manage those minutes across a full year." This was the first match after a break. Like there's no warning indicators. It's a cruel and unfortunate turn of fate on this one. I think what's questionable for me though is now does that change how you're going to load manage, and does that maybe change your level of nervousness because look, we expect an injury of some kind. I don't know of many teams that go in MLS a full season without some level of long-term injury to at least a player. And I hope it happens to no teams. I would love for there to be no major injuries this whole season. That's not consistent with what happens in the league. So I just I'm nervous for Miami because this is, to your point, the young guy. This is not supposed to be the guy who's getting injured. This is supposed to be a strong body that doesn't have these built up injuries and strains and issues. And
Yeah, I like you said, it's a part of the season, right? Every single team, it's really based on luck. You're gonna probably lose a guy or two to a long-term injury. People are going to be out for a couple months. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think um, the thing that I'm thinking of is I've seen some negativity around the tackle itself, and some people saying that was a dirty challenge. It was what was this is a friendly? Why is he doing that?
I did hear some of those.
I don't think it was that bad. Did you see it?
No,
I
no,
I might even pull
I
it up to look at it because I really don't think it was terrible.
I will note, Gavin, I didn't watch large swaths of this match just on the principle of the fact that I log in to the MLS app on my phone, which means I have an account with them, which means they have my email. And when I go to click on it and they're like, "Please provide your email to watch this match," I'm just like, "Why? Why do I need to give you my email to watch this match? Every single other match I can just watch. I can just log in on MLS. Why is this I understand why this specific one's because Messi's in it and they want to be able to get as much sensitive information as possible. But if someone's logging in with their MLS account, you have that information. Just let them watch. It's dumb. I hate it. It's bad policy. It's
Agreed.
annoying.
It is
I would have had this
obnoxious.
match on and watched it and kept it on in the background. And instead, I followed it a lot on social media. I watched clips and I carried on with my life otherwise, which was fine enough.
Yeah. I saw a video of it. I'm trying to find it so I can show it to you. Okay, maybe this is it. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate
Uh,
that. I think I managed to mute in time.
I think so. Okay, I
Nailed it.
think this is the video. Can you see my screen?
I can see your
It is
screen.
extremely blurry. Oh my gosh.
It is extremely blurry.
It is Twitter, so there's not much
It's
I can do.
grainy.
Okay, there's the foul.
Oh my gosh, that's horrific.
It's really
Catastrophic
not
even.
that bad, right?
No, it's not.
Like I don't think it's that dirty.
I would say you
It's
see plenty of those in regular MLS play throughout the course of the season.
it's really unfortunate, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But
he
ooh,
doesn't even
yeah.
like necessarily go studs in on the guy.
No, he's just behind him
Yeah.
and he just over commits. So it's very unfortunate, but it's not dirty at all. Anyone
Well,
saying
now
that is
hold
just
on.
very upset.
Which leg was it? Was it
It's his left leg, I think.
okay?
Oh,
All
sorry, I
right,
went back a little too
because it
far.
did look like he actually got stepped on his right leg there, but
It's right here where he
yeah, where he
it like
plants.
gives
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can see it. So
Yeah.
I don't think then it was even
Yeah.
necessarily a challenge. It looks like that's just the way he planted, and it
Yeah,
gave
he's
out
grabbing
when
his left.
yeah when the leg planted on the ground. So
Yeah, I don't think it was
I
that
don't
bad.
have too much of an issue with that. Watching that back, it's unfortunate. It's really poor timing. It looks, I think, worse than it is. I also think it would have been a non-contact injury if he was just running and that happened. It
Hmm.
could have look, players tear their ACLs when they are running up the field.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's weird things happen.
unfortunately. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Now,
think I think that's that on that, but really unfortunate.
I do want to talk as well about some Colorado action. News continues to roll out for that team. Sam Vines is reportedly now going to Colorado, which means you have what? Sam Vines, you had Georgi Mihailovic, you had Zach Steffen amongst your notable names, right? I mean, they already had Maxo there. They had Connor Ronan, both of whom I think those guys are staying. Do they have a striker yet? Have they figured that out?
Sorry, I was trying to get to their transfer marked page. I thought I saw they had somebody lined
I think
up. I thought there
Bassett
was a
signed a new
rumor.
deal. Yeah. And supposedly they're not all going to sign what, a six?
I think so. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing a lot.
They are
I
doing a lot.
no new forward yet, other than the guys they drafted. But yeah, they still only have Navarro up there. Rafael Navarro Leao. We have
Yeah.
another
So,
Leao. And he's on loan, I think, from Palmeiras. Yeah. So.
well, point being, Colorado have had a very strong offseason. And
Oh, did
I
you call
would,
out Mihailovic already?
yeah, Mihailovic
Okay.
is on there as well. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear
I
that.
would say Colorado have had the best offseason of any team.
Yes, I
Are
think
you thinking
so
about
too.
Miami as an alternative?
Yeah, I mean, if you bring in Suarez and they're, I think I'm
I
thinking
mean,
of that other guy they're getting, the other young guy,
I think
who's rumored.
Suarez, yeah, Suarez is nice. It's good to sign Suarez. Is Suarez going to give you the same number and quality of minutes as some of the younger talent that Colorado is signing in Mihailovic, Stefan, Vines, etc.?
Minutes, no, he's gonna have to be managed, and if he's not managed, he will break down. I think that's
Right.
clear to see. Um, so but he will score goals. It's as simple as that. He's been scoring goals his whole career. I don't think he's just going to come in and instantly struggle to score in MLS. That wouldn't make sense. He just came off a really strong season, so he'll score goals. he won't be able to play every single game. There will be games where they will look like a shadow of themselves, and then they'll get their good players back and be amazing. So
Right.
yeah, I would say Colorado having the best offseason is fair to say right now. I can't think of too many others who have been outright insane, um, like Colorado. Maybe Atlanta. They've been kind of under the radar, but they got a good goalie. They got a defensive midfielder, a center back, and Dax McCarty. So it's to be seen how those three players I named, goalkeeper, defensive midfielder, and center back, play. But with their
Right.
track record recently and who we know their director of football or whatever you want to call him is, Lagerway, you have to expect that those are going to be really well scouted individuals who will be a good backbone for their team to build on and thrive.
That's fair. I will admit I wasn't actually really considering Atlanta, but you're talking up a good game for them. So they're certainly in the honorable mention category. I think maybe the reason why Colorado is so prominent is because they had so many glaring and obvious gaps that they needed to address, and largely they are addressing almost all of them in a single window. So it looks quite impressive when you say, hey, they have 5, 6 spots that they need to fix, and then they go out and sign good, recognizable, quality talent to fill those spots.
Yeah, they've also got the most PR. I don't think Atlanta's signings have been really heavily talked about.
Right. I mean, it helps. You sign a guy like Georgi Mihailovic, you get the U.S. men's national team people who link that there. You have Zach Steffen coming back from Manchester City and former U.S. men's national team keeper, lost his spot to Matt Turner, and then kind of fell off entirely because he wasn't really playing. And then when he was playing for Middlesbrough, I think. So,
Yeah, you would educate me on that one. Um, we have a comment. We have a comment from a viewer,
whoa,
and it says by a Doris Yan.
yikes.
Why no one else watching? We
Because
love
we
you,
did not
Doris.
publicize this very well. Thank you to my wife, Doris.
Oh, I hope it didn't just. We can cut out her last name if you want. Is that her last name? No, her
I
last name's
mean,
McMurray.
well, now you've put all the names on there.
Well, yeah, but everyone knew you were Russell McMurray.
That's true. Yeah,
So sorry, Doris.
that's okay. She'll forgive you. Maybe
Maybe,
we'll
probably not.
see. Play your cards right.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we appreciate the love, Doris.
We do. Actually,
Sorry
now
to
that we
throw you
say
off.
that, where's your wife? Why is she not watching?
She's
Or
on the phone with
your
someone.
fiance?
I don't know who, but she's on the phone with someone. So
Mm. She's
and
not on
she
the phone
doesn't.
watching YouTube.
I don't think I told her. I didn't realize we were going to go live tonight.
Ooh,
So
yikes!
BTS behind the scenes for our viewer. Um, this was an idea a couple weeks ago, and so I brought it up to Russell, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to set some stuff up in the background." So then I set the stuff up in the background to look at it, and then we just ended up going live. So here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
We are entirely off track, so I'm just going to pull us back in on a
That was my
discussion
fault. I'm
item.
sorry.
Yeah, that's you know what, the tangent's good. It helps break up the monotony of having to talk about this ho hum off season, right? When you just have these crazy turnarounds for some teams, and who wants to talk about crazy team turnarounds? What we really want to talk about, Gavin, is where's Kellen Acosta going to sign?
The biggest rumor seems to be Chicago, right?
It is
They're
a rumor, but
they're pushing
uh,
hard. They're pushing hard for it, right?
well, it also sounds like Kellen Acosta is talking with SKC, and there's rumors that he's talking with Colorado, and there were rumors that he was talking with FC Cincinnati, but FC Cincinnati has signed a player from the Czech league, so seems like they're out on Acosta, and Acosta reportedly was very close with Fire, and if he was going to sign there, think he would have signed by now, so I'm skeptical that he's still going there unless he has no other options. And we saw some Chicago linked accounts saying that there was no way he was going back to Colorado because of the departure terms that he had there. So is it SKC, or is SKC leveraged to get him a better offer in Chicago? Or is Chicago leveraged to get him a better offer in SKC? Or is that the dubious award to be given to Colorado that they're the leverage to get SKC and Chicago competing for him? I don't know. But
I don't know where
I
makes most sense for him. I don't think Chicago makes the most sense for him.
I don't think it
They
does.
probably really want him because he's a quality player and like
Right.
but I think he would be their best player, right?
I don't
I
know. Do you
I
count Shaqiri as a really good player?
I think I
From a
mean
talent standpoint?
Shaqiri's a good talent, but
Right.
in terms of where they're at in their careers, like for the league for the season, I think Kellen Acosta is a better player than Shaqiri. And where I'm going with this is Kellen Acosta, as good as he is, you don't want him to be the best player on your team. I think you want him to be a really strong midfielder that you use to supplement an already strong roster. We saw that with LAFC. If he's going in to be the star, you're not going to get very far.
Eyebrows raised.
Yeah.
My eyebrows are almost coming off my face. They're raised so high, Gavin.
Oh, they started going down. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I can only hold them up so long.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of the Chicago move.
I'm not a fan of the SKC move for other reasons right now, in fairness.
What are the reasons?
Well, we haven't talked about it yet. We'll talk about it later. I'm just mad at SKC because of the
Oh
Gavin
yeah, yeah,
Wilkinson
yeah.
thing.
You're just mad in general. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Just mad about it. I'm
So
just a
yeah.
hater, Gavin. You know that.
Well, okay. Let's pick a club for Kellen Acosta.
Okay. In MLS
Yeah,
or
nonetheless. Yeah, in the entire world. Let's pick a club
in the
for
entire world. Well,
Kellen
I'm sure
Acosta.
Kellen Acosta would love to pick a club in, I don't know, the Champions League in Europe, right?
Yeah, he's not. Is he a D? He's not a DP, right?
No, and I'm sure Kellen Acosta would love to be a DP. Here's I think here's my thought process on this. Kellen Acosta, I'm sure, would love to go to Europe and to go to a European team playing in one of those continental competitions. However, the teams that need him are going to pay him less than he will make in MLS. And the teams that would pay him more than he will make in MLS don't need him and don't even have a bench spot or even a second bench spot for him.
So he's in quite the pinch.
Right.
He's in quite the narrow straits
And he's
of
like
getting over to
28.
Europe. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I think
is
he's
a
just missed his
European
window.
yeah, is a European team taking him at 28? Maybe. Is he big enough that, he's a talent that is like a can't miss, would never wanna pass up the opportunity to sign this guy talent? Probably not.
No, because there's a lot of other players out there already in Europe who are younger who can bring you what he brings you, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
Um,
so, I mean, I feel like he's almost shoehorned into staying in MLS because he's considered domestic, his value is gonna be the highest in MLS.
you know,
So
it'd be
who
a good spot for
needs
him. I think I would love to see him at Red Bulls. I would like to see him at Red Bulls.
that would be interesting.
Stick him in there. Just throw him in.
I don't think I would be happy with that.
Four four
I
two.
could see him at, like, Atlanta.
Stick him in there. I don't know. I don't know what formation they're going to play. Probably not
I
four
have
four
no
two.
idea who even knows.
Atlanta? No, they just got a DM and they have Muyumba.
Well, here's the thing. Sure, they've got a DM, but would you want to put Kellen Acosta more like right in the dead center of your midfield? Let him play box to box. Maybe in
Yeah, you
defense he
could.
can shift back a little bit. In offense, you can bring him up, let him be a little bit more of an outlet for some progressive passing.
If they keep Almada, I think that would work because then Almada can do the creativity stuff along with Zonde Silva. And
And
Moyomba
Yakimakis.
can do a little bit.
Yeah.
Yakimakis doesn't really create a whole lot. To
And
be
well,
fair,
no,
he's
he
a finisher.
finishes, but he's going to float around in that final third, and he's going to draw players to him and free up spots for Almada to either make magic happen, or he's going to free up players so that they can't mark other Atlanta players arriving late into the box or
Yeah,
attacking third.
yeah. So, um, Kellen Acosta sweepstakes are hot, and we will see what happens. But
Feels like
do,
it's both
do,
hot and cold,
I feel like he
to be
ends up at
honest.
I feel like he ends up at Chicago.
Maybe. I mean, I
Do you think
honestly
it
at
comes down to who's
28,
willing to pay him the most?
yeah,
He
that's
he's at the
exactly it.
prime. He is in the prime earning year um as a professional. So he probably wants to secure a 2 or 3 year contract and then do one more free agency and try and maximize that as much as possible. But it probably will just come down to the money.
I think it's going to come down to the money. I think there's a time to chase trophies, and that trophy chasing time is probably in that next free agency you talked about, or 3 to 4 years ago when he was a little bit younger and more sought after. And right now, he's in that spot where at this age, he would be either recruited by a team that's going to pay him a lot to bring a top tier contributor and difference maker, which I don't think he's a top tier contributor and difference maker. He's a supplemental player. He makes your roster better. He makes your team better, but you're not going to pay him that amount that you would pay your difference makers. So he's got to take this point in time in my mind to get the bag and tuck away whatever you can for retirement or into investments or whatever to maximize that future earnings.
Agreed. Yep. Very
All right.
very
Hey,
true.
on the topic of free agents still, there's two other people I wanted to talk about before we move on to our next topic here, and that is Carlos Vela, Joseph Martinez. As far as I know, neither one has signed with a new team. Are these guys coming back down to earth? Former superstars in the league. Vela was reportedly being courted by a number of teams, and now he's in discussions to remain with LAFC, who did not want to give him a DP deal. And I would assume if he's staying with LAFC means he's not getting a DP deal. Is probably getting my guess would be a sizable cut, considering how many positions LAFC needs to replace right now. And then Joseph Martinez, similarly, probably wanted maybe a DP deal or high TAM, and the fact that he hasn't signed anywhere tells me that really seems like no one's that interested in what he's selling right now.
Yeah, he's not performing even TAM levels at the moment. I think Yosef. I don't know. I Josef Martinez is just now another striker to me in MLS post ACL injury, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And no one's even taking a swing on him. That's how poor he is. I and you know what? Now that I say that, because I'm thinking, why is no one even taking a swing on this player? It's probably down to what happened at the end of his tenure in Atlanta, right? He made a whole drama, made a whole stink. And so if you're not going to perform and you're going to be a nuisance in the locker room, a risk of that, then there's no point. There's
Right.
no point even risking it. So,
And we don't know what the conversations are like when they call up Joseph or whoever represents him. If they call up and say, "Hey, Joseph, we really want you to come join the team. We're willing to offer you 800,000 a year." If he comes back and says, "No, I want 2.4 million," it's probably immediately to hang up and,
laugh in
your
his
call.
face.
Yeah, your
Okay,
call has been
we'll
ended.
get back to you.
Right. It's
We'll
like
get back to
that's a
you.
very compelling thing. Would you like to meet in the middle? Even meeting at the middle takes them to a max TAM spot though, and I don't know if Yosef is worth max TAM. I think you have better options
He's not worth
at that price
TAM
point.
anymore. He's not even worth TAM. No, no. I was gonna say maybe 700. No, he isn't good enough. He's had what, a couple goals over the last 3 seasons, a handful.
I feel like he's had more than that.
I don't look. I'll look. I'll do my
Fact
due
check yourself,
diligence.
Gavin.
I
Yeah.
will fact check myself.
Check
He's
yourself before you wreck
on.
yourself, before someone tweets us and says,
Yeah.
"Hey,
He had
Joseph actually
25
had."
goals in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah,
I'd be insanely
I'd be
surprised.
shocked.
Why is Miami's squad so big on here?
What do
Joseph
you mean? Why is their
Martinez.
squad so big on there, Gavin?
Dude,
You answered your own question. You said, "Why is
dude.
Miami?"
Look at this. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again.
Okay,
Look
okay.
at this squad. Why are there so many people?
I don't know.
Since when are there that's like a 40-man squad right now? What is going on here?
Would they probably have academy people
That
on there
is
too, or like two team on there?
ridiculous. Okay, Josef Martinez. Let me
I
look at
thought you were gonna
his.
share
Oh,
something
okay,
that
okay.
said his goals, and I was like
I will. I
ready
will. I
for
will.
it.
No,
And
I ruined it. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to the last few seasons, right?
right, tell me.
Seven goals last year. Okay, that's more than I
Okay,
thought. In MLS.
and how many appearances?
And how many appearances? 20. Oh my gosh. This is
Well,
like
that so
really
1700 minutes. It looks like to the right of that, right?
transfer market is so dang slow. Okay. For Miami, he played 40 games, 12 goals, 3 assists. That's a good
Okay, it's a decent
barometer.
return.
That's not terrible, actually. I thought he had less than that, in all honesty. Oh,
Well,
I clicked
what's
the
the
wrong
minutes
thing
on
again.
that?
Minutes per goal.
Yeah, what's the per 90 on that?
Let's see if they have it here. Transfer market is very slow.
Hold on,
Domestic
just go back
Cups.
up. Go back up, Gavin. Right there.
Yeah, but that's not all competitions. That's just MLS.
Okay, but that's what people are gonna focus on, right?
I
It's a
guess so.
metric. Okay.
So it's 100 minutes per goal, essentially, because it's
A
seven.
hundred
Nope,
minutes per
that's not
goal.
right. That's not right. That's
That's
not
more
even
than
close to
100
right.
minutes per goal, Gavin.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
Pull up your calculator, do your
1740
math.
divided
1740.
by 7.
So
248.
250, yeah, 250 minutes per goal. So that's scoring once every 3 matches.
That's not terrible, actually. Not for a backup striker.
For
That's
a
not
backup
terrible.
striker. But how much are you paying a backup striker?
Not Tam.
Right. So
Okay.
it comes down to, I think, price.
Yeah.
If you can get Josef at backup striker money, good. If you get Josef
I
at
wish they had it for all comps.
spot starter money, bad.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, stats by club. Maybe this has it. Because I want to see his overall. Okay, so here it is. 256. Get my trusty calculator out. Calculadora. Sorry, my Spanish speaking French. That was rude.
Do you speak Spanish, Gavin?
No. 240. Okay, so that's a little better when you factor in all comps.
Right. So it's every
So
two
it's
and a half
2.3.
matches.
Yeah.
That's still not amazing.
No, no.
It's backup striker
Yes.
contributions.
Yeah, a good backup striker contributions, in my opinion.
Decent backup striker contributions.
Okay, there are backup strikers in the league who score 2 goals a season.
And what's their minutes played? If you send them in for 200
That's
minutes.
True. That's true. That's true. He did get a lot of minutes. 2,500 minute season is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's available.
You're making good points.
I'm making some points. I don't know if they're good.
He's scored more than I thought, but I think it's because he played more than I thought.
Right. And I don't know if 2,500 minutes, let's say that you expect a starter to have somewhere between 2,500 to 3,000 minutes across the course of the year. Would you want a starting striker to have those numbers?
What, 12 goals in 2,500 minutes?
Yes.
I would be okay with those numbers if he was a heavy contributor to the offense in terms of pressing, in terms of connecting, in terms of facilitating for other players. So I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of a good comp within the league, um, who doesn't score a ton but does a lot of the dirty work. I don't know. I'm just thinking of like, okay, remember when CJ Sapong, Mukhtar were at their peak? And like
You're
Sapong
going
was a,
way back for
I
Sapong at
am,
his peak.
yeah. Well, Sapong and Mukhtar together when they were like a dynamic duo.
Okay.
Sapong did a lot of the running, a lot of the dirty work, and while Mukhtar obviously did a lot of running too, but Sapong didn't score a ton. That's what I'm thinking of when I say it's okay for a 2,500-minute striker to have 12 goals across a season.
Okay.
But the only scenario.
All right. Fair.
But other than
Gavin.
that, not Yosef's scenario last season.
All right. I'm going to move us on, Gavin. Going to talk about a different Gavin. So, quick recap the story in review. Gavin Wilkinson was hired as I think the sporting director was the position, question mark, for Sporting Kansas City, who in
I thought
his
you said
position,
technical director.
some
It was
level
something
of,
weird because it
yeah,
was
right. He was above Peter Vermees, the head coach, but he was below Peter Vermees, the president or chief operating officer, whatever his official higher up title is. So
right.
a very weird, both in charge of and reported to Vermees, which made no sense. Effectively, he reported to Vermees because I see no valid way that Vermees would be like, "Oh, I'm going to listen to you because I'm in my coach role," and then walk to a separate office and says, "Okay, let's have a discussion about your treatment of the coach on the team." I don't think that happens. So, anyways, Gavin Wilkinson, controversial hire, especially controversial because there was a number of reports in the Yates report detailing some involvement with some sexual abuse, I believe, and vouching for coaches who were involved in those scandals. I believe at one point there were allegations. I don't remember if this was ever confirmed, but I believe there are allegations that he also might have been involved in a cover up involving domestic violence with a player. Again, allegations. I don't believe that was ever an official charge or lawsuit or anything. And so, being very careful about what we're putting there. Point being, widely protested in Portland is wanting him out from Portland, especially because he was involved with the Portland Thorns, the women's team over there. Gavin Wilkinson was then hired and brought into Sporting Kansas City, and the team initially did not even want to put him in a headline. They just put basically an article out saying update on club position or something. Immediately huge pushback by fans. It was
And
7 or
they
8 straight
knew.
days. And
And
they
they
knew
knew because they
when
did
you
the.
don't yeah, when you don't wanna put the person's name in your headline, people are going to hate it. They later wanted to come out and say, "Oh, we did an extensive vetting process and background checking. We considered all these candidates," and it later comes out that, Gavin Wilkinson was eventually they decided to mutually part ways or whatever their terminology was because enough people threatened to cancel or actually canceled season tickets or maybe sponsorship money drive. Something eventually the negativity got to Sporting Kansas City and the decision was made to release Gavin Wilkinson. And it was then, I guess, leaked or reported that the executive search firm that did the search for that position didn't even present Gavin Wilkinson as a candidate, which means Sporting Kansas City had to go out and specifically choose Wilkinson after looking at all the candidates brought to them and say, no, we think we want this guy. It's a bad look. Hiring him was a bad decision. not immediately parting ways with him when the fan base spoke out and put all the statements out, that was the second best time to part ways. To wait as long as they did seems like they were hoping that the anger would blow over after a couple days, and when it didn't, their hand kinda got forced. I don't think they ever would have parted ways with him if they didn't absolutely have to, and that says volumes in my mind.
Well said. I can't really add anything on to that. I think it's ridiculous that they even moved forward with the decision to sign him, and it's bad process. It's bad decision making, and the when you are hiring someone, especially for these very public positions, one of the number one things you need to think about is how they are going to interact with your fans and how they kind of present themselves outside, how everyone else thinks of them and how they present themselves outside to the because that has influences on your club short and long term. And this decision to even do this shows that there is issues at Sporting Kansas City that they would be willing to take this guy on and then immediately cut him. They lost a lot of money doing this. Well, no, I think they said it was mutual, right? I think mutual, yeah. Um, Hopefully mutual enough that they didn't sign him to a contract and then had to give him a bunch of money. But maybe they did. Maybe they did have to do that because they're idiots. Um, but I just think really, 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 really bad decision making and just not a lot of thought clearly went into this. Not enough thought. It was just, oh yeah, he's got experience in the league and he's available and he's got a decent resume, so we're just gonna hire this guy. Terrible decision making. So I know I said I didn't have a lot to add, but clearly I did. I'm glad he's been let go, and it's just unfortunate SKC have to go into the season now with someone else because they wasted their time on Gavin Wilkinson.
Yeah, I think to me, the primary effect here is whatever goodwill they had from the turnaround last season, where they started out being horrific and then made it into the playoffs somehow and then beat St. Louis to advance past that first round. I can't imagine much of that goodwill is still with the community at this point.
Oh
So
no, they're
that's
very upset. Yeah, good point. That goodwill is completely gone. That's a good point. Yeah, it's terrible. They've ruined it.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, Gavin Wilkinson's out. They made the wrong decision, but they got to the right conclusion eventually. Just very roundabout, unfortunate way to do so. Gavin, I think we can probably move to our last surprise segment here, maybe just to wrap it up on a high note here. And do you want to pull it up? Do you want to share your screen here? We'll do a little bit of a vibe check tier maker.
All right, hold on. All right, can you see my screen? Can
No,
you see the screen?
I can't see anything.
You can see the screen. Okay.
And now I can see your screen.
Okay, so we've got five categories as you do on the tier maker. Five tiers. We're winning the league.
Top
Woohoo.
tier. For context, this is purely vibes right now. This is based on where we are in the off season, based on moves, news around the league, general positivity, and entirely unfounded speculation based on what we either have read, hallucinated, or dreamt.
It
It's
could be
purely vibes.
rumors, right?
It could be
Could be
rumors
rumors.
as well, yeah.
It's pure vibes. So then the next one is obviously we're vibing, we're chilling. We've got let them cook, so they're close to vibing, but they've got to cook first. They gotta stir the stew. We've got meh. They're mm. And then we got can we skip 2024 because
There will be some
some
teams in there, unfortunately.
yeah, yep. San Jose Earthquakes. What's your vibe?
Ooh. Meh.
Me too.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Easy. Obviously winning the league. The vibes are immaculate right now, Gavin. They've signed so many players. Huge turnaround from prior season. No signs of stopping. Purely on a vibes basis, they're winning the league. Now, do I think they will actually? No, but it's vibes.
All right, so we're tiering just the vibes.
Just the vibes.
Just
Yep.
the vibes. So not the
Just the
quality of the
vibes.
team, just the vibes. Okay.
The vibes around the team. Optimism, vibes, entirely just
Okay.
where the
So
headspace is right now.
Philadelphia.
It's a ooh, this is
They're not too happy.
they're not too happy. They're not too
They're
happy.
not too happy.
I don't love where Philadelphia is in terms of headspace.
I
They're
don't think they're
definitely
vibing.
no.
Maybe meh.
Maybe a meh. Yeah.
Okay, they're meh.
Okay, they can be meh.
Okay. RSO.
Meh.
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 DC.
Okay, this is a tricky one because like
They've had some transfers.
they have had some transfers.
They got a new
Do it.
coach.
They got a new coach. They got a new GM. I'm excited about their GM. Does anything else? I guess let them cook,
Let them
right?
cook. Let them cook. Let's let
Let
them
the
cook.
GM do some things. Okay,
Yeah, let's let them cook. Red Bulls.
vibing.
They're
They're
vibing.
vibing. Yeah,
Okay.
they've changed.
Atlanta.
They changed the top structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got players in from Germany, from other places. Seems like
They're
they're
vibing.
vibing. Yeah, they're vibing.
Atlanta.
Vibing. Yeah, maybe even borderline winning the league.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's high vibes right now. Skip.
Montreal?
Yep. Skip to 2024.
No.
They
They've done a lot
have.
of stuff.
What have they done, Gavin?
They got a forward, right?
What was
They
the
got
forward's name?
I don't know his name. They No, they got Huan. They got a forward.
Is
They
Huan
got
someone
a
you're excited about?
I know a lot about Huan, so no.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't think they're Skip, personally. They've got fine.
I mean, look,
Yes, those are the vibes. They've
yeah,
loaned in a couple players from Bologna, but that's what they always do every offseason
right. That's
because of the yeah.
they. Here's my thing, Gavin. Everything they've done is no different than what they did last season. They
Fair,
got
fair.
they got a new coach. They got and that coach didn't last. They got players who were supposed to be known quantities. They didn't do too well. They made some bizarre trades partway through the season, which they haven't done yet. Give them time. It
Let
it
them
just seems
cook.
to yeah, let them cook. It just seems to me like all the signs are showing signs of repeating last year. At which point, just skip the season.
Yeah. Okay. Dallas. They just beat Miami tonight.
They just beat Miami. If that's not a winning the league, I don't know what is.
They're vibing.
I guess they're vibing. Yeah,
They're vibing. I don't
it's
think
big
they're winning the
preseason
league
vibes.
without us.
No, no,
Also,
definitely
I
not.
did retweet a tweet earlier that Dan Hunt claimed that they could make a transfer record breaking signing at striker.
I
So
could win the lottery.
you could. So your
Yeah.
boys Vancouver. Don't
Ooh.
don't don't take those rose tinted glasses off. How
All
you
right. Hold
feeling?
on,
How we
hold on.
feeling?
They're
Okay.
off. They're off.
Okay.
Glasses are off. I
Okay.
can't see anything at all now because
Oh,
those are
he's
prescription
blind.
rose tinted glasses. I would say I'm
Hmm.
I'm between let him cook and vibing.
What have they done this offseason?
Krylock.
Oh, okay. That's a decent one. That's a decent
Yeah,
one.
but that's kind of it as far as big things. I mean, they've done other stuff, but
Right.
okay, I
Not a
guess
lot.
maybe let him cook.
We'll let him cook.
Yeah,
Let
I
him
need
cook.
to see some more.
Toronto. That's an easy one.
Ooh. Skip.
Skip. They've done
Yep.
nothing. They've had a terrible season last year. They won the Win Spoon, right? So
Did they? Wait, did they? Yes. Yes, they did.
right? It wasn't Colorado. It was them.
No, you're right. It was
Yeah,
Toronto.
I'm right.
Could
I
they
was
go
right.
for the back-to-back?
Can they go for the triple though?
Gavin, no one will dethrone Cincinnati from that dubious record.
That's fair. Austin.
What have they done?
Not a whole lot. If my memory serves me right, I think they need a whole lot of a lot in a lot of positions.
This seems like a place they're going to overpay for Josef Martinez, personally.
That's what they did with Zardes. I'm thinking
Run it back.
I'm thinking lower. Like
Yeah,
the vibes can't be that good right now
I
at
don't think the
Austin.
vibes are that good.
Meh. We'll say meh.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to see more to call it meh.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them in the news. I
Cincinnati. How you
I don't
feeling?
know if Cincinnati are winning the league vibes right now. Look, they've got M-Rob, Miles Robinson's good signing, and then they've signed a Czech player, and then they sent Vasquez away and have yet to replace him, and then Barreal is in theory transferring out, and I don't think you're going to replace Barreal. You're just going to hope to get close to Barreal. So I did vibing
Okay.
ish.
Vibing.
Rob's doing a lot of work there.
Yeah.
If they didn't have Miles
You got
Robinson,
Corey Baird.
oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about Corey Baird.
Must not be that good of a vibe if you forgot about him.
Yeah, put him down to skip to 2024, I guess. Oh,
That's where
did I
Minnesota's
say
going.
that? Yeah, Minnesota goes to skip
There's
2024.
no
Hey,
way
look,
that's not their vibe right now.
Reynoso is back in Minnesota though. The saga is
Ooh.
already over.
Okay. So maybe do you
I
think they're
no,
not a skip?
I think that
They
you
still don't have a
skip
head coach.
2020. Yeah, don't have a head coach. If you have spent this long without a head coach and you can't find one, either everyone's turning you down or you have no idea what you're doing.
Bingo. New England.
They hired Caleb Porter. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Meh.
Meh.
You don't want to let him cook? Meh.
They hired Caleb Porter. Who has been excited to have Caleb Porter as a head coach?
Hey, he always wins a trophy.
He
Not
wins a
always,
trophy. I mean, he won a trophy with Portland. He won an A or even two trophies with Columbus. But how much of that time winning those trophies did fans enjoy?
I mean, winning the trophy was enjoyable, but that's
Right.
about it.
Everyone enjoys winning the trophy. No one enjoyed the path to get there.
Bingo. Charlotte.
What has Charlotte done?
To be fair, they've had some rumors recently.
Ooh, they've
had
had
some
some rumors, yes. And how many of them materialized, Gavin?
0.
Okay. But they did hire Dean Smith. What do we think about Dean Smith?
Decent. Okay, yeah. Those could be the vibes. Are we gonna let them cook? See what they got?
I'm a meh at the highest.
What? You just said Dean Smith. No.
I said Dean Smith. You're right. Factual statement.
All right, we'll give him meh.
Okay.
NYCFC.
Skip. What have they done?
They got Hans Wolf for free.
Okay.
Who he's a youngster who he was promised a couple of years ago, maybe like 5 years ago. He was like a promising youngster.
Can we make a new tier for NYCFC and have it be let me know when your stadium's done?
Yeah, seriously. We will. Yeah, we can skip them. Whatever.
I would love to see good things happen for NYCFC. I would love to see good things happen for every team in this league. But they still have Nick Cushing as head coach.
Yeah. Fair. I think the vibes for Orlando City are just we're vibing.
Are you vibing? I guess. What have you done?
You're
an Orlando fan.
Yeah, we re-signed our 2 loanees, Cartagena
Okay.
and Angulo, who were very important players last season. So we stayed the same there. We signed Lodero, lost Pereira, stayed the same there. Like
Ish, yeah.
literally, they're like almost the same age.
Okay.
If you look at their underlying statistics, they're literally the same player. Lodero just scores a
Okay.
bit more often. And that's it. Today, some rumors surfaced that we are losing Gaston Gonzalez, who's like a backup left winger, and Martin Ojeda, our DP, who doesn't start. There were rumors today that they were leaving the club, so we'll see if that
Are you
comes
vibing
out to
then?
anything.
This
We're
feels like a
vibing.
let this feels like a let him cook. You've stayed the same and have rumors that you have players leaving.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take that. Yeah, we'll take that. Nashville. I think they're vibing. They got Drew Yearwood, and
Is Drew Yearwood a player that you'd be happy about signing?
with their midfield, I would be. They've got Sean Davis and who's the other guy they have? They got another good guy in there. What do you have them as?
Let him cook.
Let them cook. Okay,
Yeah. I mean,
that's,
look,
that's fine.
they have not, in my mind, solved their need for creativity in midfield.
No, not with Drew Yearwood. Definitely not.
No. And that is, I mean, they got Tyler Boyd, right? You got Tyler Boyd,
They
and
spent a
he's,
lot for Tyler Boyd.
yeah, and he's going to be on the wing. Okay. So you have a front three of Hani, Sam Surridge, Tyler Boyd. Maybe put Surridge in the middle, Boyd on one wing, Hani on the other. And how are you going to get the ball to any of those three people?
Fair. Yearwood. I mean, Yearwood's pretty good at getting the ball out wide. To be fair, but yeah. And Yearwood, when Yearwood and Davis were at Red Bulls, they were a good partnership.
What did Red Bulls win while they were there?
Nothing. Red Bulls haven't won anything in a long time.
Right.
But this is Nashville.
That
Yeah.
What if Nashville won?
They haven't won anything yet. Columbus. Are they vibing? Are they winning the league? Oh, they just got Gressel. Winning the league. Those are the vibes.
What do you mean they just got Gressel? Gressel went to Miami. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
they just lost Gressel. My bad.
Skip to 2024.
No.
I think
Vibing.
are they? I mean, what has come in for them? They've retained a lot, right? And that's a
Yeah.
good sign from MLS Cup winning team. Retain a lot, okay,
All right,
because you knew that
Columbus. What you got for us?
you were the best team.
Columbus. They got Derek Jones in. Okay.
That's meh.
They really have a lot of the same squad. They got a left winger, Hinestroza from Pachuca, it looks like.
Okay,
Um and then they lost Gressel.
that seems to me like
They're vibing.
vibing.
Yeah,
Are
they're
they?
vibing. I'll give them vibing. Yeah, they just won. They're
I,
chill.
I guess if you really
They
want
lost
to,
they lost Gressel. They signed a player at left
and Gressel
wing.
wasn't
They're
even
fine.
starting.
They're fine. That's true.
All right, all right. If
Chicago.
you say so.
Meh.
Skip? Question mark. I mean,
They got Gutman. I know you love a
okay.
good Gutman.
I do love Gutman. You're right. That should be meh all on its own. I feel like all their other targets are falling through though.
That seems to happen quite a bit. Remember when they were going after a
They went after
striker last
they went after
year?
Mihailovic. Mihailovic fell through.
Yeah.
They're going after Acosta, who has not signed after he was supposedly a lock for them, and that was what, like a month ago?
Who? Sorry? Who
Acosta,
was the lock?
Kellen Acosta.
Oh yeah, they haven't signed him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're I think they're
Okay.
meh.
All right. All right. We can say meh, but
They're meh.
I reserve judgment. I would like a moral victory if they turn into a catastrophe.
You will be granted that moral victory.
All right. SKC, if they had kept Gavin Wilkinson, was going to be Skip, and I don't know if they've actually done anything to warrant still being out of that category.
I haven't heard anything that SKC have done. What have they done? I don't
Hired
think
and
they've
fired
done
Gavin
anything.
Wilkinson.
They've done nothing.
They've done nothing.
I'm
Okay.
on their transfer market. I'm seeing literally nothing.
Skip to 2024.
Oh, they lost Scotty Kinda.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, skip it.
He's always injured, anyways.
LAFC is in an interesting spot.
Meh. I don't know.
They have so many open spots right now
Let him
that
cook.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna let him cook because there's infinite flexibility at the moment.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
literally anyone could go to LA and they're a big brand and they historically have done pretty well at building a roster.
Okay, yeah.
I would be
I think their
stressed if I was
vibes are
in.
let him cook.
Yeah, I think that said, give me like another week, and if there's not any moves for LAFC, maybe I start to panic. Maybe LAFC fans are panicking. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
panicking for them yet, but I'm not far from it.
Seattle.
Seattle Saunders
They haven't done much.
haven't done much.
Lost Ladero.
Lost Ladero. Yep. They still have Joao Paulo.
Yep. Meh.
Yeah, this feels mad to me.
I'm looking at their page. They've got no
Yeah.
major incomings. They got Nathan from San Jose as a center back, so that like strengthens their back, their defense.
Right. Okay.
And that's it. They're draftees.
Yeah. Then. Yeah. All right. Meh.
They don't even look like they're cooking, bro.
You're right. You're right. Houston.
Jinkies. Think they're vibing?
I feel like they're vibing, but only off of last season. I mean, they just lost Baird, right?
Yeah, they lost Baird.
And then they got
They lost
back
Thor as well. Thor Holson.
Yeah.
No, what's his name? Thor
Olferson.
Wolferson. Yeah, they lost him.
Yeah. Maybe they're in a let them cook phase. I mean, they have some flexibility. They could get players in. I think they need to reload a little bit though. I would move him down to let him cook. And we need to know what's going on with Carrasquilla.
I think he's looking like they're gonna lose him.
Right. So I need to see what they do there. I don't
Yeah.
think they're vibing.
That's fair. St. Louis City. Think they're vibing?
I think
the
let 'em
vibes
cook.
are fine.
I think the
No, I
vibes
think
are
they're
fine,
vibing.
but they've got what? They've got Giacchini going out. They're bringing in a
They're bringing
player
somebody in.
from.
I think they're vibing.
Yeah, I guess. I
They're
mean,
kind of like status quo for me.
I suppose. And they finished strong. They were the best team in the West last year. So, Miami. Should Miami just by default assume that they're winning the league because they have Lionel Messi on their team?
Yes.
Okay, that was easy. LA Galaxy. I think let him cook.
I think so too. That's where my head was going.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
I mean, they have some movement. They signed another center back question mark, or they signed a goalkeeper?
Galaxy?
Yeah, they
They
got
signed the LAFC goalie.
yeah, Crepo?
No.
And then
Yeah. No. Yes.
which LAFC goalie are you talking about, Tom?
McCarthy.
Oh.
Didn't
So
they say
backup.
McCarthy? The backup.
Wasn't McCarthy the backup LAFC goalkeeper?
Yes, he was.
Okay. All right. MLS Cup winner from the shootout.
Where did? Right. Wait, did they both go there?
I don't know. You're the one confusing me.
I'm confused.
I think
Crepo
Crepo
went to Portland.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I
And
recall seeing this.
LAFC McCarthy. I swear McCarthy went to Galaxy. Yes, he went to Galaxy.
There you go. And I think Galaxy signed another player recently as well. I want to say it's another Japanese player.
They got Yoshida.
Didn't they get someone else
too? I think they're rumored to get someone else.
Okay.
So perhaps we said what? Let him cook.
Yeah, we said let him cook.
They got Miguel Berry.
That doesn't excite
No,
me.
yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, no.
I think they still have room for another designated player question mark as well.
Oh yeah, I think so. They've
Yeah,
been trying to go after one.
because
Yeah.
Chicharito left,
Yep.
so they have his spot open up.
Is Joveljic
Yeah, they've.
a DP? I would hope not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and Portland.
That's a hard question. They signed Maxime Crepeau. They also got Phil Neville as a coach.
My hot take for them is that they're going to have a good season under Neville.
That's a hot take.
Is a hot
You want to
take.
compromise? Let him cook then.
I
Are you
think
thinking
so,
they're
yeah.
vibing?
I don't know. I'm almost leaning.
You're almost leaning towards skip to 2024. I see it.
No, I'm almost leaning towards vibing.
That's reckless and obtuse. But we're known for hot takes occasionally. You're known for hot takes occasionally.
I don't know. I've got a weird feeling about them. They got Crepeau. They got Kamal Miller.
Gavin, this is entirely subjective. I know we're
think
justifying things, but you don't have to justify this
the
pick.
vibes are vibing over there.
All right. That's it. That's the vibes. Save it. Screenshot it. Keep it forever.
Okay. So we've got 3 teams that feel like they're winning the league.
Right. Just on vibes alone.
Okay.
That's it.
Boom. myimage.png. And I think that closes out the episode, right?
I believe it does, Gavin. Yes.
All right. Our first
I think it's
live
safe
stream.
to say our very first live recording. We'll do it live.
We did it live.
Yeah, we did it live. So I think that's it for us, though, Gavin. Remember, you can find Gavin on social media at LionsBlog1. Be sure to send him any of those negative feedback or changes that you'd like to see in the show. If you loved something, you can find me on social media at Mr. Dangerous. And as always, you can find all of our content at MLS Now Podcast all over social media. You can find us on TikTok, on Threads. You can find us on Instagram,
On
Twitter
YouTube.
/X, on YouTube. That's right. Where you could watch this live stream live or recorded. Doesn't matter.
Really doesn't. We just appreciate it all the same.
That's right. We appreciate everyone who continues to listen. So, as always, Gavin, listeners, till next time.
Till next time.